Except where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Let us continue with the reactions and commentaries on Superhuman and the Octagon, Imperfect in the Courtroom, assessing the culpability of martial artists who killed during street fights. This legal comment was written by Stephen Michael Ian Coonan. It is downloadable over at the Emory Law website. We're coming to the part where they're going to tell you how this comment is divided in 5 parts. So I'm going to read that. This comment proceeds in 5 parts. Part 1 reviews the provisions of self-defense doctrine and perfect self-defense and the provocation defense. Part 2 examines how subjectivity has influenced the law of self-defense in 2 ways. First, it looks at how battered women's defense, how battered women defendants' use of subjective evidence encourages juries to apply the self-defense doctrine leniently. It then contrasts this lenient approach with how subjective evidence of combat skills may hurt a defendant's police officer's case. Part 3 discusses the skills of traditional martial artists and mixed martial artists to justify why the martial artist is a new area, in which subjectivity should influence self-defense law. Specifically, Part 3 argues that courts should hold certain exceptionally well-trained martial artists to heightened standards of self-defense. Part 4 then introduces the 5-factor MST as a way to reconcile the skills and limitations of martial artists so that courts can identify the special martial artists who should be denied the particular defenses. Yeah, like that's not going to lead to bias. Finally, Part 5 concludes with the changes the legal and the martial arts communities can make to implement the test and to promote awareness of self-defense law. I'm telling you right now, man, I'm just not seeing how this is going to work out well for us. I just think people are going to jump to this when they just don't like the person who's being accused of murdering someone, and then they're going to hem and haw and make all kinds of excuses to let people off that really should be held to a higher standard because they deliberately were trying to murder someone and someone gave them an excuse. But that's just me being cynical. This is not legal advice because I'm not a lawyer, all right? I am a martial arts instructor, though. Number 1, traditional legal foundation. This part presents an overview of American self-defense doctrines defined in the American common law and the model penal code, MPC. Section A explains elements of self-defense in the first, partial self-defense, imperfect self-defense, while Section B explains the second partial defense, the provocation defense. Self-defense. Hey, this section discusses self-defense. Why do they keep repeating themselves so much? Okay, we already said this. Okay, let's get to something good here. The attacking elements include an imminence requirement and an unlawful attack requirement. The response elements have a proportionality requirement and both a subjective and objective belief that force use was necessary. Lastly, subsection 3 explains the partial defense of imperfect self-defense. The person who could really explain this well is Andrew Bronca because he's a lawyer. See, that's why what I do is I peek my head over in the gun control forum / community because they're dealing with this more. And just like I said years ago, I'll think of myself as a gun or like I have a gun, what would I have to do? And apparently the legal system is saying, those guys are just like guns. Those women are just like guns. So we're going to make it so that they're just like guns, even though I'm not. All right. Under the American common law, self-defense is an exculpatory legal defense for someone accused of murder, manslaughter, attempted murder, assault, battery, and or other crimes against a person. So I'm understanding that as there's a body somewhere. Whether it's dead or not, there's a body somewhere and somebody did something to it, and you're trying to say it's okay for you to have hurt that body or killed it. According to the self-defense doctrine as applied in killing, an individual is legally justified in committing an intentional killing when he reasonably believes that such force is necessary to repel the imminent use of unlawful deadly force by an attacker or aggressor. Imminent means it's going to happen right now. So if I kick you in the head because I'm afraid you're going to go back and get your boys to come beat me up, that's not imminent danger. Imminent means it's happening right now. In contrast to the common law, the MPC focuses more heavily on the actor's subjective belief. It states that, quote, the use of force upon or towards another person is justifiable when the actor believes that such force is immediately necessary for the purpose of protecting himself against the use of unlawful force by such other person on the present occasion, end quote, meaning right now. So if I think you're going to punch me in the face now, I can do something now. But if I think that I'm going to beat you up now because you might punch me in the face when you see me at school or at work, that's not imminent. Imminent means immediately, right then and there. Even though you know they're going to come back and try to do something to you. So you better thrash them now. The law doesn't allow that. That's what my understanding of this is. Compared to the common law approach, the MPC makes the actor's belief sufficient to support the defense. If his belief is mistakenly formed, he will be prosecuted for a recklessness or negligent offense, but not for an offense requiring purpose for culpability. So I guess they would get you with some kind of manslaughter type thing. I don't know though, because I'm not a lawyer. If they feel like you didn't know what happened. But I'm reading this like this, and I'm sorry this is painful. Please bear with me, people, because we need to look at this as martial artists, in my opinion. In some jurisdictions, defendants may not use either the common law or the MPC claim of self-defense unless they have fulfilled the duty to retreat. The retreat doctrine aims to prevent unnecessary death or serious bodily injury. It requires that before using deadly force, a defender must flee, not fight the aggressor, if the defender knows that he can successfully avoid harm by running away from the aggressor. However, it does not apply when a party only needs non-deadly force to stop the aggressor, or when the defender cannot retreat safely. There's also usually no requirement to retreat when attacked in one's own home. So I'm going to stop it here. We're going to pick it back up right here.